Creation Science Evangelism presents Creation in Common Sense with Eric Hovind.
Welcome to Creation in Common Sense. I'm your host, Eric Hovind. You know, we here at Creation Science, we like to stay up to date with the most current scientific research. That's why we got our creation research team, Jonathan Sampson and Joshua Joscelyn, and a couple other guys that don't look quite as good on camera. But we subscribe to all kinds of scientific magazines like New Scientist, Smithsonian, Scientific American Mind, Discover Magazine, Skeptic Magazine, all these great scientific journals. And there's a lot of great science in here. However, we see over and over and over that they're trying to prove evolution and come up with evidence for evolution more than just simply checking out real objective science. And that's a problem. New Scientist just did an article on Jack Horner.
Right. Jack Horner, he outlined in his book that he's going to build a Chickenosaurus.
Yes, page 44. Say hello to the Chickenosaurus.
This is the latest stupid thing to come out in the evolutionary circles, because what his plan is to alter the embryo of a chicken to grow a long tail. Since after all, chickens evolved from dinosaurs, right?
That's what they tell us.
So we should be able to just alter the embryo and make a chicken grow like a long tail. Yeah, and that would make not a chicken with a long tail, but a Chickenosaurus. I mean, are you kidding me? Seriously.
That's not evidence of evolution.
That's not evolution. No, this is here's what the funny thing is. Even though they say his experiments have not worked.
They haven't even worked
They failed.
Yet. Okay.
They still
Needs a
say,
little more grant money.
we don't know how to coax out a chicken's inner dinosaur, but for Jack Horner, it's a worthwhile quest. This isn't a worthwhile quest. This is a fool's errand.
Yeah, and this wouldn't prove evolution anyway. I mean, you started off with the chicken, and now you got a chicken with a long tail, which means you still have a
chicken.
Yeah, and there's way too many differences between dinosaurs and birds.
This is something that creationists and skeptics of evolution have been pointing out for years as well. Your dad has been doing seminars for the last 20, 30 years. I mean, talking about the many differences between these. You know, it's a known fact that the alleged ancestors of birds have hips that are exactly opposite of birds. I mean, it would be convenient because there's other dinosaurs that have hips that oriented the right way, but those dinosaurs aren't the ones that allegedly gave rise to the birds. So, I mean, they have to get these hips to do a complete 180. That's not the end of their problems. Now they have to go and look at the lungs. Reptiles, like mammals, have these bellow-style lungs where air goes in, air comes back out.
Right.
Birds, on the other hand, have these ventilation-style lungs where air goes in one side, passes through, and then exit the other side. Like our digestive system. You know, and then of course, even if they have those problems, they have abandoned one problem that they have altogether because of creationists. In Scientific American 2003, they said, listen, we cannot say that scales turned into feathers. It makes us look way too stupid.
No kidding.
And the creationists have already figured out that this just doesn't work. So we got to get rid of that idea.
Pretty soon, hopefully they'll agree that evolution just doesn't work.
No.
It just doesn't.
Well, that's the thing. Even though the evidence doesn't support their theory, they're going to chase all these wild goose chases, go out on these fool's errands, if you will, and they're just desperate to prove evolution.
Yeah, they're more interested in proving a conclusion they've already come to than looking at scientific
And it makes them look
evidence.
quite stupid.
And an example of that was actually Jonathan Wells in this great book, Icons of Evolution, for sale on drdino.com.
Yes, this is a shameless plug.
On page 130, he gives an account of a symposium that he went to where the guy was presenting DNA extracts from a Triceratops bone. And astoundingly enough, he said this DNA is 100% similar to turkey DNA.
100%.
Now, to him, he's thinking, well, dinosaurs turned into birds. Now, it was the wrong type of dinosaur. Triceratops are not the ones that allegedly turned into birds. And to go 100% similar just sounds really stupid.
Not even other birds are that similar to turkey.
That's
Right.
I know that is a fact that Jonathan pointed out here as well. So I mean, this just shows that the fact that he would give that type of evidence
Wow.
at a symposium. I mean, he did say that, hey, maybe it's possible that someone was eating a turkey sandwich around the research.
That's more like
That's
it.
a lot more
But
like
I mean, to say that
contamination.
this is legitimate data to present at a symposium shows that he is not out there actually doing objective research.
Correct.
He's out there in desperate attempts to validate his deeply held religious idea of evolution.
They've been doing that for many, many years. This book, Icons of Evolution, accounts for lots of the different, quote, icons that evolutionists have used to try to prove their theory of evolution.
Hence the title.
The thing is, evolutionists, they're running all these wild goose chases like Jack Horner. Even if he could succeed in this, that would only prove design. I mean,
That's true.
he is making this happen.
That's
but
true.
he doesn't see that because he's desperate to prove his theory.
Now, for those that can't read good and want to learn to do other things good too, we've got the DVD, Icons of Evolution, for you, all right? You know, the Bible says in Proverbs, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes. That's exactly what we see here. People that are very foolish trying to chase after evidence for something they already believe to be true. That's kind of sad. Thanks for joining us for Creation and Common Sense. I hope you'll always use creation science for evangelism. God bless.